One of the things that boggles my mind, besides quantum physics, molecular gastronomy, entomology, anthropology, all of the apologies really, and women, is the fact that I still see people asking, should I buy this GoPro Fusion I saw for sale on Craigslist? Or should I get that GoPro mic adapter? So today I'm going to tackle these two issues head on. I'm going to be looking at the difference between the GoPro Fusion and the GoPro Max, the GoPro mic adapter and the GoPro Media Mod, and letting you know which one you should be purchasing and which one you should be avoiding. Not only that, I'm also going to be giving you details of a brand new DemonView giveaway. Yep, this is your chance to win some exclusive DemonView goodies. So watch this video to find out more. Time to sit back, relax and enjoy. This is DemonView. Hi there, welcome back to the channel. I do appreciate you tuning in. In case you're new to this channel, this is where I do product reviews, tips, tricks, training, and also give you honest opinions about products and whether or not they are indeed worth it. Now, having said that, let's get to the main subject of today's video. We're going to be looking at the GoPro Fusion versus the GoPro Max, the GoPro mic adapter versus the GoPro Media Mod, which ones you should be using and which ones you should be avoiding. We'll also take this time to give away some exclusive DemonView goodies to my viewers, so watch this video to find out how to stand a chance at winning some of those goodies. Let's get to the video. Now, GoPros are quite amazing small form factor action cameras capable of capturing fantastic videos and photos while being mounted in the smallest of places. It's no wonder that when people think action cameras, they think GoPro. However, even though GoPro has some great features, there are times when you'll need to add accessories to your camera to improve the video and audio that you're capturing. For example, filming in windy conditions or loud, crowded spaces, you may find it necessary to use an external microphone, and that's where you'll need either the GoPro mic adapter or the GoPro Media Mod. So what's the differences between these two very different solutions? Well, let's start with the GoPro mic adapter. This is the GoPro mic adapter. Now, since GoPro audio is encoded, you can't just plug in a microphone into the camera. A USB-C adapter won't work. Don't even waste your time or money trying. And I have to point this out because so many people keep trying and spending money on adapters only for them not to work. You have been warned. Anyway, the GoPro mic adapter was GoPro's solution to capturing external audio with the GoPro Hero 5 and later. It basically plugs into the USB-C port of your GoPro and enables you to connect a 3.5mm TRS microphone to your camera and capture external audio. So it's a simple solution, but as you can see, it comes with some drawbacks. On some cameras, this means that your camera is no longer waterproof as you have this big mic adapter plugged into the side of the camera. Usually you have to remove the door, the battery could fall out, and as I said, it's not waterproof, and sometimes you can even do something like get the GoPro USB-C pass-through door. Now, if we add the USB-C pass-through door, as you can see, now the camera is weatherproof. Now, weatherproof is not the same as waterproof, but there are some bad points to this. The weight of the adapter and the weight of the cable hanging off the side of the camera could potentially damage that USB-C port, especially if your mic cable's hanging out of here and it snags on something when you turn your head. Now, even if you get a specialty case that has a holder for the mic adapter, it usually fits directly under the camera like so. This is bad for two reasons. Number one, you have to fold the fingers on the bottom of the camera to put it in there, and these fingers are actually part of the camera's heat dissipation system. The other downside is look how thick and stiff this cable is. Once it's bent under the camera, you have to actually bend it backwards, plug it in, and that is putting pressure on the USB-C port. And finally, the only thing you can really do with this is add a microphone to your camera. It doesn't give you much in the way of extra features, and honestly, I think this system is old, out of date, and a bit problematic. That's where the Media Mod comes in, and this allows you to connect an external microphone to your camera and does a few things more too. Let's take a look. So the Media Mod is a case that fits around your camera, enables you to have extra features on your camera, and depending on which model you have, the more features you'll have once you attach the Media Mod. So what can the Media Mod do for you? Well, let's take a look. First of all, it's got the two mini directional shotgun microphones on it, and these are covered by a removable foam screen. That just pops off so, like that, and you can put that back on. Now, this means you can film in windy, noisy conditions, and the camera is either going to pick up sound from the direction it's facing. So if you want stuff in front of you, point it that way. If you want to record yourself, point it this way. But here's the thing, you also have a rear mic on here, and you can decide whether or not, if you're vlogging, whether you're recording what's in front of you or you're recording your own voice. And because it's a shotgun directional microphone, it's not picking up sound from all around you, it's pointing in a specific direction, and that's where it's going to pick up the sound from. Now, it's got these ports in the back of it, and here is a 3.5mm TRS line in. And that will allow you to hook up such a thing as a Rode wireless system to your camera. And if you're using a Hero 12 or 13 when you do this, the camera records audio not just from the wireless microphone system, but also the Media Mods mics on separate audio tracks. And this means that when you're recording your vocal audio, you're also recording a separate ambient audio track, and then you can mix that professionally for fantastic audio in post. And the way this works is simple. I would actually just get the microphone, and this is the receiver unit, put it in the top like that, plug in the TRS audio here into the bottom, and there we go. I have a wireless mic here, I've got the receiver here, and I can just record audio this way directly into the camera. High quality sound. On top of that, if you look closely, you can see you get these volume bars down the bottom of the screen, and that's from the actual Media Mod itself. When you have it attached, it gives you those volume bars down the bottom to let you know what your sound levels are. And that's really great for deciding whether or not your volume levels are correct, whether you're getting overdrive, if you're too quiet, or if you're too loud. And that is something that you don't get when you use the mic adapter. You also get two more ports in the back of the camera, one for adding USB-C power, and the other gives you a 1080p 30 frames per second HDMI out signal. And this is fantastic if you're using the GoPro in a studio and you want to access the full quality camera settings to give you a pro control over your image quality, and film for longer times as you can connect power externally. And because all of this fits around the camera, it's secure, there's no movement, you're not putting any pressure on the GoPro USB-C port. On top of that, you've got two cold shoes, so you can actually attach your microphones and your external lights if you want to. And the Media Mod is built tough, and GoPro even say that it's weatherproof. So if you haven't figured out by now, when it comes to buying the GoPro mic adapter or the GoPro Media Mod, I think you can easily see that the Media Mod is the far better option. So is there a downside to the mod? Well, kind of partially. Whereas the GoPro Media Mod is weatherproof, it is not waterproof. So you'll need to remove it and reattach the original battery door when you're filming in the water environments, such as scuba diving, swimming, water skiing, that type of thing. It can also be a bit of a pain when it comes to changing the battery or the SD card, as you have to disassemble the whole setup to do so, to actually access the card or the battery. Now, I think that whole process is a bit overblown and it's not that bad. Plus you can just charge the battery via the USB-C port on the mod, so yeah, it really doesn't bother me that much, but it may bother some people. Next up, we have the GoPro Fusion and the GoPro Max. Now, for those of you who don't know, the GoPro Fusion was GoPro's first foray into the 360-degree camera market. It was released in 2017 and at a rather pricey $700 price point. Now, it was revolutionary at the time, but it did suffer from several issues. Number one, there was no in-camera stabilization. The footage had to be stabilized in post using the GoPro Fusion Studio desktop software. It's actually fairly large, as you can see, and it has two separate camera systems kind of just back to back. So each camera has its own SD card, and there was no in-camera stitching of the footage. Instead, the footage had to be stitched in the GoPro Fusion Studio desktop software in post. And this is quite a lengthy process, and depending on your PC speed, it could take up to about a minute to do 1% of that footage that you recorded, and that was if you had a fast PC. Otherwise you could be looking at 10 minutes per 1% of footage. That's not great. The file sizes generated could be huge when stitched, and so not only did you need a pretty beefy PC to actually stitch all that footage, you needed a very large and fast hard drive to store all the footage. That desktop software that's needed to stitch and stabilize footage, it's discontinued on Mac, and on Windows it's still buggy and prone to crashing. I mean, there's never going to be any more updates to the GoPro Fusion firmware or the desktop apps, as the camera has essentially been discontinued, and the team that worked on it has been long since disbanded, and they're all working on different projects. And although the Quick app for mobile still supports the Fusion, it is very limited in its capabilities. The stabilization just doesn't work, and your 360 footage is pretty low bitrate and low quality. The camera firmware itself is pretty buggy, with several issues related to connectivity timing out, the app not properly deleting files from the SD card. I mean, to clear the cards fully, you had to use the format option on the camera itself. The resolution of the camera was 5.2K at 30 frames per second, but with the beta firmware, this could be up to 5.6K at 24 frames per second, which kind of made the stabilization look even worse. So that's a list of everything that's kind of wrong with the GoPro Fusion, so what's right with the Fusion? Well, this is where it gets interesting. The GoPro Fusion does have night lapse modes, and although the quality isn't great, at least it's still available. The greatest advantage was that if you could get the desktop software to run without crashing, you could export your footage as a 4K H.264 file with GPS data embedded in it. This meant that you could then get the video file uploaded straight to Google Street View using the Google Street Studio, and it was easy to do: export, upload. So that's the GoPro Fusion. What about the GoPro Max? Well, the GoPro Max was released just 2 years later in 2019, and it was a huge improvement over the GoPro Fusion. Why? Well, let's take a look. Number one, you had in-camera stitching. The camera stitched the footage in the camera itself and saved it as a single 360 file. And since this was 2 cameras but 1 system, the camera only used 1 SD card for footage. Now, in all fairness, that was a lower bitrate than the GoPro Fusion, but the quality looks so much better. Like, even now using this camera, I think the video quality is still amazing, and on such an old camera, that's something. Then number 3, the camera also had some extra cool features such as power pano shots, the ability to film in hero mode, so it used a single direction camera in a 1080p 60 frames per second, and that looks pretty good. It had a color touch screen on the camera that quickly allowed you to select modes, frame shots, and review your footage. The stabilization was also done in camera, and it's actually quite amazing. The size and the footprint of the camera, as well as the workflow, is so much better and improved over the GoPro Fusion. And GoPro still support this camera and are still putting out updates. I mean, not only is there the option of running the GoPro Labs firmware on this camera, the mobile app also offers things like automatic subject tracking and quick one-button camera effects. Then you have the desktop software, which allows you to export the footage as 360 footage or reframed footage for editing with other software, and that's still being worked on and updated. So the GoPro Max does seem like the clear winner here. All is good, right? Well, not so fast. There are a few little issues. Number 1, the desktop software is a bit limited, and in Windows you cannot export the footage with the GPS data embedded in it. So this means you can't update Google Street View easily using the GoPro Max in a Windows environment. Since the GoPro Max isn't the top-selling camera and very few people actually update Google Street View with their Macs, GoPro aren't exactly in a rush to throw resources at fixing this issue. GoPro also promised ambisonic surround sound recordings from the camera, however, I don't believe they ever actually got that to work properly. There are no night modes in this camera, which means it was a big step back from the GoPro Fusion, which does have night lapse modes. The GoPro Max just doesn't do it. And like the Fusion, the GoPro Max will not support external audio. The only mics you can use with this are the built-in mics, or, as I said earlier on, a standalone microphone system that you'd have to sync with your video in post. However, all in all, the GoPro Max is a huge improvement over the Fusion. Unlike the Fusion, it's still a supported camera. GoPro are still rolling out improvements in their software to support new editing features with the Max footage, and the image quality, it's just so much better than the Fusion, it really is. So when it comes to choosing between like the GoPro Fusion and the GoPro Max, the choice is easy. You go for the camera that's supported, works, and you don't have to jump through giant hoops to use, and that for me is the GoPro Max. And there you have it, folks, the simple truth when it comes to the differences between the GoPro mic adapter and the GoPro Media Mod, the original GoPro Fusion and the GoPro Max. Now hopefully if you're feeling generous with your money and considering purchase some of those goodies, that this information helped with that decision, and that you use the links in the video description to make those purchases, because I get a small little fee if you do, and that helps produce this channel. Now folks, the part you've been really waiting for, the DemonView giveaway. Yes folks, I have a goodie bag up for grabs containing some exclusive DemonView swag that you cannot buy in the shops. This is exclusive for this giveaway. I've got some koozies, some key rings that I engraved myself. We've got some magnets with the DemonView logo. We've got some stickers with the DemonView logo. Plus, we have these special pins for the lucky winner. So if you want to stand a chance at winning, just read the rules in the video description, hit the subscribe button, and then leave a comment down below to say hi, tell me a bit about yourself, or ask a question. Just make sure you leave a comment down below, and that's it. You will be entered into this giveaway. And then as soon as I get enough entries, I'll organize the raffle and we'll pick a lucky winner for this swag. So folks, I hope you liked the video. I really do appreciate you tuning in, and make sure you check out some of my other videos for tips, tricks and reviews, and make sure you enter the competition. It's a great way to pick up some free swag. So until next time, cheerio.